But there's no one's really talking about the use of money as a tool. We're just relating to it as how is it going to go out? And there's a movement toward, how is it coming in? There was a period where parents didn't want their kids to work because they didn't want them to, slack on their studies. There still is a lot of that. But I think parents are starting to see like their kids need to have a job before they go to college because they're going to have to go to Sammy University otherwise, right? I mean, that's where you learn, like, go wait tables, right? I think that's a really formative part of our learning before we matriculate into adulthood. But that's the other thing is once we get money, there's no sense of how to use it well. There's very limited, deep understanding of that. So kind of going back to how I came to this, I was in an investment club with my girlfriends. We wanted to learn about investing. This is an adult issue we were focused on. And we studied the stock market and we did some investing, and mostly we just drank wine and chanted and bought stock. But I bought Apple at 11 out of that, $11. Anyway, my daughter was around that a lot and she had a lot of questions about money, and we tried these various ways of doing things. And then she kept, asking for me to buy things for her. Here, I want this, I want that. And I realized that I was making the decisions and I wanted her to make them, some of them, start getting practice in how it all works. So I gave her money, a certain amount of money to use for certain kind of categories of spending. And they said, this is all I'm willing to spend on that out of our family's budget. This is what's allocated for that. And you get to now go decide how many Barbies you can buy for $2 a week, and how long do you have to save for that. But primary to all of that, because I was an investment club and I was learning about this, was saving to invest. So the first 10% automatically goes into saving to invest. So once that money became larger and she had some substantial money and she wanted to use it to make money, because that's exactly how we defined it, then she could do entrepreneur projects. So then she could use the money to buy the materials for a lemonade stand, let's say, and sell the lemonade and see like, oh, I spent $15 on lemonade supplies and I made $50 selling lemonade. And then she started considering, well, what if I went to the other end of the block because we were kind of on a cul-de-sac? And, she just kept solving problems. Entrepreneurship is about solving problems. The only really good businesses that succeed are actually solving a real problem people have, and it's painful enough that they'll pay for a solution, period, right? So understanding the world out there, your customer out there, what's out there, how can you bring value to that? And then how do you build a structure around that? Teaches all the project-based learning that you want kids to understand, like what are the steps? Things take a while to get there. Think it through, get mentors, all of those pieces. That's how we build good lives, right? Whether we have a job or not, we have mentors that might help us make job decisions or guide us into jobs or mentor us within our jobs. I mean, we don't do anything alone. And I think as parents and teachers and as a culture, we expect that when we tell someone something, they then know it. They know that, and you never have to show them, like, you show your 2-year-old how to tie shoes and you never have to show them again. I mean, that's about how ridiculous that, approach is, but that's sort of where we come from. And the experience of starting a business gives you all of those mistakes and breakdowns, and you have to keep pivoting so that when they're out in the world and they have a flat tire or they get stranded somewhere or they're late to a meeting, they know how to function. They know how to solve the problem themselves. They're not calling mom going, oh, mom, I'm going to be late to this meeting. Will you call my boss? And that stuff happens. That's the protecting.